Welcome back to Painting and Decorating. Got a few top tips here for when you're using tanking slurry for tanking a room and going up near the damp course. I'll show you around this job, show you where some of the leaks were, and then I'll show you what I discovered with the damp course. So that's the room so far. I've actually stopped taking the plaster off the walls because it's been done quite a few times, and really it only needs coming off from the bottom, if anything, a foot round. The water was all the way up the ceiling, going past up there, and there's a void behind there, and it was condensing on the cold brick and soaking back down, soaking off this as well. There was actually plasterboard on top of this plaster, so I removed all the plasterboard. It was sopping wet behind, and then I got asked by the insurance to take the plaster off a metre high all the way around in all the rooms. That's the gable end, and it's kind of lucky that one was done, because that's got most of the issues in a sense. It's had an old fireplace, so that's been bricked up, and one issue there, damp course comes along either side, stops, and then it's been allowing water up because somebody's not put a damp course across. That's one of the issues, and whoever did that, I think have laid concrete over the old floor and then asphalted, put some asphalt down. In fact, the asphalt probably went down possibly after the concrete, and then someone discovered the concrete was getting wet, and then they've put the asphalt down to stop the wet on the concrete, but then it's just transferred it all straight up the walls, because whoever put the floor down breached all the damp course round and the plaster, which I'll show you in a minute. It's also had 2 floods, this property, one about 10 years ago. The base layer now is saturated underneath completely from the first flood and this second flood. Need better light in that corner, but it's all, when you dig it out, it's all saturated at the bottom. And it's all oozing out from the sides. Show you over here, might be better. That there, that's the original floor, and it's actually dry. So then when you come to the concrete that someone's laid, and you go around the room, because I've been chiseling all this out, and it's getting wetter along this side because I've not finished along here. Someone's had a go, but they've not done it right because they've never realised that it's the floor transferring the water up. There, you see, that's where I've got to so far. That still needs digging out a bit, and the rest of this needs all coming out because they've put tanking slurry over, and that's what's holding that bit back there. You can see bits of it on the floor, and more tanking slurry. But if you look at the wall, you can see the water going up the wall. You can see it there where the brick is, and that's because of all this concrete down here breaching up onto that brick. And it's also going over the damp course. Let's have a look down there. See, I've been, like I say, chipping it all out really carefully to find out where the damp course was. and just there you can see the damp course, and there's actually nothing wrong with it. It's old, but there's nothing wrong with it. And then when you get further along here, they've actually, all the old cement of the house is over the damp course. Let's go back this way where I've been chasing it out. I mean, it's fragile in a few places, excuse me, but definitely fixable. There's nothing wrong with it, but if you've got any material that's not waterproof from there to there, going over the black, then it's going to transfer water up the back. See there, that bit that's stopped. That's not just the light, that's dark because it's wet and it's below that line there. And then as soon as you get above the line, it's dry. So like I say, I've been going along, finding all the damp course. And here where the fireplace is, it goes up and returns there, and then stops because there was a fireplace. And then it starts on the other side again, and whoever's put this in has not put a damp course across that bit. They've probably the ones that have also done the concrete on the floor and gone over all the damp course around a lot of the room. Because it's transferring water, like I say, up from that bottom edge there. And that bit, that's dry. And then that bottom edge is transferring water to the outside wall, and it's below the damp course, so it's not too bad. But as soon as that floor's gone down and it's gone over like that, game over. So that's fixable. Again, take a brick out or two and you can put a new damp course in there, which is the best way, and then just replace the bricks. Slow process, but it's worth doing. People have like drilled and drilled and drilled to try and stop the damp, and the main issue, I say, because all that there, that grey, that's tanking slurry over the cement, so they've not actually taken off all the old cement proper, and they've not dug that channel out, which needs coming out. The asphalt needs coming up first, so then the base floor can dry out fully, and then chipped off all around the edge, clean all the damp course found, all cleaned off, and then you can put your tanking slurry on, like up to 2 foot high around the room, or a foot high, depending on how much plaster you've taken off. I mean, this gable end, I'll just do it up a metre, it'll be fine. But it's all about the actual damp course line. If you go over that with anything that's absorbent, you see I've been chipping it all off, all that was over it, then you're just getting the transfer of water coming up. And I think whoever's done that has been messing around in the porch, or actually messing around. They've built this porch, and there's one leak I've already fixed for my customer, and that was coming in through the ceiling there, which I've done all the decorating sound. Now that leak must have been again there for years, and we discovered that by, I told my customer, go outside when it's raining and have a look up at your gutter. I mean, when it's, you know, really throwing it down. So he did. You have to have an umbrella, obviously, and he looked up and he says it was all just gushing out the gutter in the centre above the porch, running down the wall and all hitting the top and everything. And when I looked at what was causing it, I took the gutter off and everything and realigned it, sorted it out, put the brackets back, did everything, poured water in, it all ran, it seemed all okay. And then the next day when I was doing the work inside fixing this, absolutely threw it down. So I went outside and had a quick look, and it was just gushing out where the actual joint was. I was thinking, it's all lined, what's going on there? So I went up and had a look, and I looked down the line of the gutter, and it all kinked and was warped where the actual bracket was, which I hadn't noticed that at first. And on looking at the actual joint, it was the wrong joint for the gutter. Same colour, but the wrong joint, so it was actually bending the plastic more than it should, which when you got a lot of water in the gutter, it was just gushing out down the side. So yeah, that caused the leak there, which obviously then has come down the walls, it's out the ceiling. It's been going on for years because it's run down this wall, and then I've hacked all this out. Now that's filler. See the filler? I just picked a bit off then. That was actually some type of filler. All the way down there. You can see the damage. So the water's been coming down this area, soaking in everywhere and causing more damage. And then you think, you know, this is the cause of your leak and everything else, but it's not. That's just one of them. There was one in the corner over there. When you open that door and go under the stairs, there was a leak from outside coming in there. The bay windows have been leaking, so that's a leak on from the ceiling up there. And then on chipping out more of this floor, which I think we're going to have to go all the way around the edge and all the way around the edge to free it up from the brick before we tank it, and then that'll stop this water coming back this way. But some of this water coming in that way, see, it's more or less stopping there. You're never going to believe this. After chipping these out slowly, I discovered the damp course stops right there. So all that there was just cement, saturated from outside, saturated from drawing water up from the floor here, just letting it spread. It was all over the wall. This has all been drying out. You can see our pencil marks from drying it out over days. It was all drawing back, so you know you're doing it right. We've got times on here and zones. That was another leak off the bottom of the door. Damp course again, completely wrong. So I've readjusted all that, and again that's okay. But this might need chipping out first before it's tanked. All the damp course there was breached. I freed all that up. All that was just cement. Let's see where I've been taking it off. Bump to the floor. Saturated. Unreal. As soon as I released it, that was dry in 2 hours. Putting marks on again. The other side. Look at that. No protection or anything, it's just wrong. Just allowing what you can see it going across there. That needs all coming out yet. There's the damp course. Black line. blew the dust off it, but there's a little black line there. So that kind of needs marrying up with that, really. Possible. It is more than possible. I'll fix that. Right. So I mean, water coming in, and then so that's another 2 leaks. Try and get them fixed and blocked up today. There's also been a bush on the outside that was breaching the damp course with its soil level. So we dug that out, took that back. Thankfully everything's drying out. Let's see where the water comes up there. All that beam there was saturated from the water condensing it behind it above, running back down. It's all dry now, bone dry. Another one, I think I mentioned it before, but hollow. So with all the water going on, it's been drying out even in summer, condensing in this. We put a spirit level on that and it's running towards the wall. So when I first took all this off, this was all saturated and it was all coming off this. See the rust in the corners. It's fine over there as such, that's like a bit of condensation now and then on that, but all the rust on that side and the water coming this way. Add into everything. So the 2 floods that have happened have breached everything anyway. It would have come in no matter what, soaked into the base floor. Can't really get out because of the asphalt, and it's then topped up with every other flood and slowly drying out up the walls. See the damp, it's everywhere. So yeah, it's all fixable. A very slow process, and I'm waiting now actually to get the go ahead to take the asphalt floor up, and that's from the insurance. I've tried explaining to him that don't matter how much plaster you chip off these walls at the minute, if the floor's not fixed between that little bit there, we're jiggered. And not only that, all the water's trapped under this now, and it needs freeing up so it can dry out fully. It's never going to dry out fully, otherwise it's just always going to be there. I mean, you might get a bit of ground moisture from something, but you would think when they're first constructed, when they put that base layer in, it's protected with something, and it's more than likely bitumen. They pour that on, and it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. Once you clean it all off and free it up with a wire brush, and then it's tanked over, that's not going to transfer moisture because the tanking solution is tough as nails and it's waterproof, and that's waterproof. So again, it's about being really delicate with what you do. You can't just be doing what you want when it comes to damp course. You've got to be careful. Like I say, it's been tried and people have gone round drilling the holes everywhere thinking, oh yeah, this'll solve it. And basically all it's done is nothing. The water's going up these cement lines anyway, because the damp course there was breached with all the cement. And you can see over there what I mean, because you go along and the cement lines start getting wet. There you go. So It's Mr. Dehumidifier. Turned it off, it's like noisy. Some of my tools I've been using. Really good, but again, amazingly difficult on this stuff because it's been done before, possibly twice. The brick's shot, and basically that stuff is hard as nails, and it's already got its waterproof solution stuff in it, because when you do damp coursing and bits and bobs and you're doing an outside wall, they would add waterproof agents to the cement, and that's what they do. 2 or 3 layers, so that's best being left because it'll just dry out. It's the water coming up. You got water coming up, it ain't going to dry out, and that's the problem. Until we free all the damp course up around the whole room. And in the other room, still got the other walls to do as well. It goes on and on and on. You can see it creeping everywhere. But it's only in certain bits. That's a new wall, so it's not going too far up that one. Quick look in the other room. Yeah, straight away you can see the damp parts. That's the tanking solution they've put on. Damp. Straight across. So all that needs coming out and chipping out and doing right. Again, it's been drilled everywhere, but it's still getting damp, because half of this is cement that they've not taken off, which all needs chipping off, and then you need to find the damp course like in the other room and free it up. It's a slow job. Slow job. So if you're using tanking slurry and you don't do the preparation correctly, then it's not going to work. All the cement needs coming off. You see, it's just wet under the floor. There's that new wall, this is block. That's the damp course on this. So because this is a new wall and been done after that first floor's been put down, then you can see the water's not going over that at all, because whoever's done it has stopped with the plaster. It's done right. You know, whack your skirting board on, Bob's your uncle. But you can see the damp there underneath transferring again from this stuff, which is not good because it's all trapped under there. So all this needs coming out so it can dry out fully. So my plan is to, once I get the go ahead, remove the rest of this asphalt in both rooms, because you can see here that was all saturated like that. We took it up, and within like 2-3 days that's where it's dried back to. So fastest way to get all this lot dried out is remove the asphalt, find all the damp course like that, fix any bricks, get some dry rods in places, fix the damp course across the bits, fix the damp course across there, fill any holes without going over any of the damp course, and then give it a tanking solution, 2 coats, and then you can fill any remaining holes and then give it a third coat for, you know, make sure. But the tanking solution is going to go all over the floor, all over the concrete. Again, all up that wall, and then like a foot up maybe around the rest of the, well, we'll gauge where it needs to go around the room. There's no point in making work where there's no work's not necessary. So I hope that's helped you if you're going to use tanking solution where there's a damp course. Yeah. Let's end the video on this one, actually. I've just come outside to continue my investigation. It gets worse. Right. Someone's done drilling again from the outside here. Lighting's not so great there. But when they've done the drilling and then they've done whatever, they've cemented it all over. I've just found the damp course. There's that black line again, and it goes through inside. Let's get a bit closer. Now, you gotta clean it off, but you can see a black line there, and that's the damp course. Comes along. See it very clearly there. All cemented over. That's a new patch as well, because it stops, you know. There's the odd little bit that needs taking off actually in places. That'll be breaching the damp course there, which is just there. You see all the damp going up and all that hole there filled with soil. So, you know, I'll end the video there. And I'll fix the damp course. I'm working on this side. I've just been looking under here, and I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I noticed a crack going up, and then I discovered all this. It's unbelievable. There's a big crack going up under there inside. There's all the way along. Unbelievable it is. Wow. See up there. Well, I think that's another leak. I've just chipped it out. I've got a lot more to do. But it's pretty bad. Definitely a leak. That is finally the end of the video. See you in the next one.